The college basketball experience, transfer portal, and, some scheduling news episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Shady Rays. Go to shadyrays.com. Use the promo code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. We're also brought to you by the Golf Gambling Podcast Tailor-Made Stealth 2 Driver Giveaway. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver to enter today before the big drawing, which is on April 8th. We're also brought to you by Baseball Money is Fake. Yes, our fantasy baseball podcast. Join Blake and Ryan 3 times a week and get all the player breakdowns and statistical data that you'll ever need to dominate your league. So do that, and remember to let it ride.
Hey, this is John Sally, and you listen to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes. Woo! Welcome to the college basketball experience. Transfer portal and scheduling news episode. Wow, the music just keeps playing. You thought we were just going to go silently into the night. Clearly, you haven't been rocking with the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and the college experience, because we do episodes all fucking year long. I'm fucking tired. Don't matter. No more bitching. It's time to talk hoops. And we're what? I know we're what? Let me think right now. Let me see if I can do some quick math. I know we're 6 months away from the season. That's not accurate. I feel like 6 months away from the season. But don't panic. We got where am I at, Colby? I'm at my house. I am at my house because I woke up not feeling that great today. But guess what? That doesn't mean I'm not going to give you fucking content, all right? And I'm not transferring, all right? But everyone else is, goddammit, all right? Oh, man. But let's get to, first, you're probably wondering just who the hell you're listening to. Well, my name is Colby Swinging Database Dip, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. I would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
And look, this is our transfer portal episode, so I feel like this is the appropriate clip to play.
I'm dying in this fucking country-ass fucked up town. Shit flying in my mouth. The fuck, I can't see pollen. And let's get the fuck out of this country, motherfucker.
All right. That is my clip. Let's get the fuck out of this town because, damn it, the portal's got over 2,000 players in this. Whew. That's a lot. It's a lot to break down. But we're doing it, baby. And, look, I actually like the portal. I don't understand some of it, but I like having the portal and having acquisitions going on in the offseason, middle of the season for some cases. So we are joined by my co-host, yes, former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin, host of the Ryan and Rush Show, host of the NFL Gambling Podcast. Give it up for Ryan McIntyre. What's up, brother?
What is going on? 72 hours ago, we had UConn, San Diego State. I had 72 hours to reflect, and I am not going in the transfer portal. I am back on the college basketball experience. Let's go, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, there's so many players. Shout out to Moneyline Ed. Shout out to Chris,
nice name,
Nevada, Rob, all Trevor. We're going to talk a lot about the portal and where players can go. And I mean, I every time I go to the interwebs I see like a new fucking thing in the portal. So, but before we get that, or we get there, I can't talk. I want to talk about this Big East Big 12 battle schedule. Holy shit! Where's my guns? Where's my guns? I have it somewhere here. It's somewhere out there. Where are they? Here we go.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Well, that's our picks, but I mean, I don't know. I have the gun. Here we go. I mean, the amount of fire games got released today or yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. So November 30th. So we got the Big 12 Big East Challenge, the two best conferences in college basketball. I think if you were to ask anyone that covers the fucking sport. November 30th, we have Texas Tech at Butler. Let's talk about that one. It's the first one on the schedule. I know Texas Tech's got a few guys in the portal, Butler as well. I mean, you got to think both are going to be better. Grant McCaslin might watch him get Tyler Perry. And then you got Butler, who I think just being healthier. It doesn't even matter if you lose guys. To me, like, that team was a mess all year as far as health. Year 2, Thad Matta, I feel like they got to get better. But is this going to be the worst game out of the whole list of them? I don't think so. But what did you make of Texas Tech at Butler on November 30th?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put it the worst. It's definitely in the bottom tier just because both teams did finish at the bottom tier of their leagues. But, man, we expect both teams to be improved. Year 2 of Thad Matta, year 1 Grant McCaslin. We saw him take over North Texas and instantly make them into a contender in Conference USA. And who knows what they're going to do in the portal. He's been good in the portal as well.
Yeah, well, nowadays, like, you don't have to wait for your team to get better.
Yeah, like, just ask K-State.
Yeah, back in the day, it was like, no, you got to give the guy 4 or 5 years. No, this is like maybe 2, maybe 2, 3. I don't know. So November 30th, we get Texas Tech at Butler and Creighton heading to Stillwater. But the only problem is every time I refresh my interwebs, a guy from Oklahoma State's hitting the portal.
Yeah. Avery Anderson.
I feel like they're top 3 scorers. Am I crazy? I feel like I'm just going off the top of my head right now, but I believe I think 2
Caleb
or 3
Boone.
guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Caleb Boone and Avery Anderson.
Yeah. So hopefully, but you also have right now, we had news of Nebhard hitting the portal at Creighton, which, I mean, why? They were a point away from going to the Final Four.
See, this one and like a couple of these other ones, like, yeah, we like talking the portal just because it's content. It's like we're interested to see where these guys go, but it makes you ask why, man. Like, you started every game, the ball was in your hands for 40 minutes every single night, and you're a point away from going to the Final Four. Why not come back and see if you can get the team over the hump? And we'll see what happens with the other guys, Kalkbrenner and Shireman. Obviously, I'm sure they'll test the waters. Everybody does. I mean, shit, you could test the waters now and enter the transfer portal at the same time.
Yeah. Noah says, when does Mike Boynton hit the portal? I thought he was already going to hit the portal, but this is an interesting angle. Nebhard was getting death threats after the SDSU foul, according to Avetta here. Or, I mean, she heard that. But and you should be watching, folks, youtube.com/the college experience. If that's the case, then maybe I get it. But, I mean, have some thick skin. Shit.
Hey, who says they're not going to do that at the next place?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, if he goes to Arizona, which is like speculated because Tommy Lloyd recruited his brother, they could lose in the first round. I actually think they have a crazier fan base than Creighton.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know. But what do you make of Creighton at Oklahoma State?
Good game. But we got to see what Oklahoma State does. I feel like they're better when they're under the radar. He'll dig into the portal, get some guys to replace Anderson and Boone, and I'm sure they'll be athletic, fast like they always are. It sucks to lose an Avery Anderson, but 2023, next man up.
Yeah,
it's a big year
for
Mike, though.
They got money. They'll figure it out. Look, I want to talk about more of these matchups because I find them all fascinating. But before I do that, I got to get us paid. I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by Shady Rays. Kick off the new year with new gear built to last. Yes, our friends at Shady Rays have you covered from the sun to the slopes with premium polarized shades, customizable snow goggles, and much, much more. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company that offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair of sunglasses you've ever worn in your life. They got durable frames and extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures or perhaps, say, the transfer portal. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by a lost or broken replacement. So let's just say, Kerr Krishna, whatever, however you, Mary Krishna, in the portal. Yeah. He landed at West Virginia. We'll talk about that later, but say he goes to Morgantown and realizes, you know what? Shit, forgot my sunglasses back at my old dorm room in Tucson, which is really a 5-bedroom apartment. But, forgot it there as I was signing over the lease to some, I don't know. But he forgets it. Next thing you know, he goes back to Shady Rays. They're not even going to ask any questions. Boom. Here's your pair of glasses, dude. Enjoy Morgantown. All right. Look, if you lose or break a pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. So wear your Shady Rays with complete confidence because they have your back long after your purchase. So with Shady Rays also, you can look good and feel good because they have donated over 20 million meals to fight hunger with Feeding America. So their heart's in the right place. So why would you not want to be a part of this, supporting this company? So what are you doing, folks? Exclusively right now for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the new year here. Go to shadyrays.com, use the promo code SGPN for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades that are rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. There we go. All right. We are back on the college basketball experience. December 1st, Iowa State heads to Chicago to take on DePaul. Man, I feel like Tony Stubblefield's got DePaul chippier, but they just can't get over the hump. I thought last year what was really critical is David Jones hit the portal to St. John's. Had they had him, I thought maybe they would, I feel like that would have been a big piece. But, this is the game that I think might be the worst one. What do you think?
Probably just because it's DePaul. No offense to DePaul. They, among the other Big East teams, they're definitely the least sexy out of those teams. It is a big year, though, for Stubblefield. You mentioned it. This is year number 3 there. Coming off at, what did they finish this year? 10-23. Year number 1, they were 15-16. So, like you said, you don't get 5-6 years to turn around a program anymore with this transfer portal. So, yeah, he needs to start winning some games. And Iowa State's got a lot of turnover as well.
Yeah, big year here. That's probably the worst game. But how about these other games on December 1st? The Houston Cougars head to Xavier. That game's absolutely awesome. That's a game I might even consider going to. You also have UConn at Kansas, go into the fog, and St. John's at West Virginia. Pitino, Huggins? Are you kidding me?
Battle. I know.
Wait, that's on December 2nd. I'm quickly looking at my calendar here. December 2nd is a See, they're going to be lining these games up, I think, as you have conference championship week in college football. Woo! Let's go. Is it fall yet? That triple header or quadruple header right there is fucking incredible. It's fucking incredible. Are you going to go to that Pitino Hugs battle in Morgantown?
Oh, yeah. I got to. Yeah, no, I'm already planning my calendar around it. But what about the other game? You got UConn, the defending national champion, versus Kansas at the Fog, the 2022 national champion. You got the last 2 champs. And then Houston coming over from the American into the Big 12, going to Xavier. Year 2, Sean Miller. This is loaded. Absolutely loaded, these 3 games.
Yeah, unbelievable. Then we have on December 2nd, which is so those are all on Friday. That's a quadruple header on Friday, leading you into college football's conference championship week. They give you one game on Saturday. Great scheduling by the Big 12 and Big East.
And they should put it at 11 a.m.
Yeah, they should go early. TCU at Georgetown. Even this is intriguing now that our guy Ed Cooley took the Georgetown job. Little Jamie Dixon, Ed Cooley battle. Sign me up for this one on December 2nd. And then they're off the rest of the day. They're off on Sunday for the NFL. They're off on Monday. They come back on Wednesday.
Smart.
With Texas at Marquette, which, are you kidding me?
Shaka.
I'm going to go ahead and say, like, this one out of the whole bunch is the one that jumps out to me. I know UConn, Kansas, like, everyone's going to say that's the one. I love the revenge factor. Oh, you wanted to fire me, huh? I fucking love this game. I love this game. I'm excited to see, the crowd in this game. So Texas at Marquette. Then Providence heads to Norman, Oklahoma. So Kim English hitting the road. Going to Norman to take on Porter Moser. We'll see Kim English. Maybe that's one of his first bigger road games as a brand new Friar head coach. Villanova at Kansas State. Absolutely fantastic.
Wildcats.
Absolutely fantastic. Jerome Tang, Kyle Neptune, Justin Moore's back at Villanova. That's actually out of the December 5th games, I go Texas Marquette 1. Then Nova, K-State 2, but then Seton Hall at Baylor. Shaheen Holloway taking on Scott Drew. I mean, this is an awesome series that we got going here. What games? Obviously, you're going to say St. John's, West Virginia, but out of the whole slate, what are like your top three other than your school?
Throwing out West Virginia and St. John's. That one is just because you have the two Hall of Famers, but I'll throw that one out. One, I'm going with Kansas and UConn, just with UConn, two blue bloods, but the two last national champions at the Fog. That's number one. The Shaka Bowl, number two. Hey, you got rid of me for Chris Beard. Hey, where's Chris Beard at? Oh, he's not here anymore either. So yeah, no, it's a fuck you game. And probably I'll go the Wildcat Bowl. I think that's the most underrated game on the card. I think Villanova is going to be back. Year 2 of Kyle Neptune, year 2 of Jerome Tang. We'll see what K-State does in the portal, replacing Marquise Noel and Keontae Johnson. I expect them to be loaded again. And what did Shaheen Holloway do to deserve back-to-back years at Seton Hall in this challenge? He went to the Fog year 1, and now he's going to go to Waco year 2. What the hell did he do to deserve that?
Yeah. I mean, hey, and also, while we're talking Big 12 hoops, and look, I see Iveta say UC Riverside at UNC on November 17th. What a banger. Toledo, West Virginia. I do think that's a good game. Same with Kent State heading to Eugene. Incredible non-con basketball. Yes, and how about, this one's big for our friend Moneyline Mac here. November 10th. UCF is heading to UCF, who's now a Big 12 member, heading to Coral Gables to take on the Miami Hurricanes. I feel like they play this game a lot, but not when they were in the Big 12. Now it's Big 12 versus ACC. I can see
Johnny
the chat getting excited. I can see the chat getting excited. So there's that one. I want to key in on a few other tournaments here that I find fascinating that, we don't have the whole slate yet. We do this because we do this episode, honestly, because we just love college hoops. Honestly, like we could easily do this episode October 15th. But the field for the Myrtle Beach Invitational is set according to sources. And we have Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, which are located in Conway, South Carolina. So you would expect them to be a part of it each and every year. Then you have College of Charleston. Obviously, about, I think, an hour and a half, 2 hours up the road. I've made that drive.
Yep.
Pat Kelsey still at Charleston. They're gonna be a power. Then you got Furman, who's also located in South Carolina, Greenville, South Carolina, if memory serves me correct. Then you have the Flamin' Libs. The Flamin' Libs coming down from Virginia to get in this mix. Then you have St. Louis, the Billikens, Travis Ford, who they're in the running. I hear. I mean, who the fuck knows with the internet? But for Caleb Love, he's from
Saw that.
Yeah. Also, the Catamounts of Vermont making an appearance. They're the Catamounts, right? Am I talking out of my ass right now?
No, they're the Catamounts. You're right.
The Catamounts, yeah. Wichita State, Paul Mills, new to the scene. Shout out to Kwame in the chat. It says it was a great season, fellas. Shout out to you, man. We appreciate you. Then the Wyoming Cowboys, who are randomly the furthest team away from this fucking thing. And they're getting Hunter Maldonado gone, EK in the portal. They've lost a few other guys too. What do you make of this field? I mean, we obviously love this event because it's like daytime college basketball the whole day.
Oh, yeah.
Right around Thanksgiving or something, or somewhere in that range. But this field, 0 P5 or P6 schools. I still love it, to tell you the truth. You?
I kind of like it better, honestly, without the Power Fives. I kind of like having like a mid-major type tournament, which you could just settle some of the best mid-majors on a neutral court. It's crazy how long the college basketball season is because UMass won this tournament they beat Colorado and they beat, I think, Murray State in the finals.
Yeah. And we thought like, oh shit, they're going to win the A-10.
I know.
I mean, they had injuries, but at the same time,
I don't think it's a marathon. And then Colorado beats Tennessee the next game.
Yeah.
So go figure. Yeah. It's I'm looking forward to this. This and the Charleston one are the week before Thanksgiving, which is even better because you have all the big ones during Thanksgiving and you got football. And so it's nice to have these two isolated, which is even better.
Yeah. And folks, we will talk now. The Charleston Classic, I believe they call that one. Mm-hmm. The Charleston Classic is and this one, I think this one is probably better than last year's, if I had to guess. The Houston Cougars, Calvin Sampson, the Big 12 representing in the Charleston Classic. You also have Rick Pitino at St. John's. What's not to like between a potential Sampson Pitino matchup? I love it. Then you also have I'm very curious. I'm very curious how Matt McMahon will do year 2 at LSU. LSU buys players. We know this. They've been doing this since the fucking beginning of time. Obviously, they're not known for being a basketball school in a way, even though they've been to two Final Fours in my life. But they're going to spend and bring in talent. They're going to spend and bring in talent. Doesn't matter the fucking sport. It could be badminton, and they would do it. So that's intriguing. Then you have the Dayton Flyers and Anthony Grant. Big year, I think, for Anthony Grant. I mean,
they're always solid. Yep.
Yeah. So then you have Craig Smith, year 3 at Utah?
Yep.
Making the trip. Then you have Jason Burton, who was just named he was an assistant, longtime assistant.
Ross Hodge.
No, Ross Hodge.
Yeah.
Who's Jason Burton? Why did I write down Jason Burton?
Is that a football name?
Yeah, I might have fucked that up. Anyway, Ross Hodge, longtime assistant of Grant McCaslin. He is the new head coach of North Texas. And so North Texas, obviously, I know Tyler Perry's in the portal, but they're heading to Charleston. And look, I like them keeping the same, in a way. I know it's not McCaslin, but keeping some of that continuity.
Yeah,
I like that angle. Then you have Towson, who's supposed to be good every fucking year, I feel like. We know Timberlake's in the portal. And then there's one team that has not been named yet. What do you make of the Charleston Classic going on?
This is another good field, another good tournament that'll be going on a week before Thanksgiving. And last year, this is kind of when we found out how good Furman was because they beat, I forget who they beat, but then they went toe-to-toe with Penn State They lost it like the buzzer. It was a great game. Penn State beat them by 2, and we saw how good Penn State was. I think it was Virginia Tech that they almost beat as well. Yeah, no, I like this tournament. I mean, potentially you could have a Houston St. John's matchup or an LSU Dayton matchup. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they field this. I'm sure they want to put Houston and St. John's on opposite sides because they want a Pitino, Sampson Final Four with both guys being Hall of Famers.
Yeah. I mean, that would be fantastic. I'll be honest. I hate to agree with the TMZ crowd, but kind of on board for that one. All right, and then we have the Maui Invitational going on during Thanksgiving, and this one's
stupid.
Oh my god. Oh my god. First off, respect. Finally, shout out. I know people will probably shit on me for this, but for a few years there, it got ugly with them not putting Chaminade in there. And ESPN saying that they don't want Chaminade in there. Chaminade is a school, a D2 school located in Hawaii, and it's part of the tradition of the Maui Invitational. So fuck you. Glad to see Chaminade in there. So Chaminade's in there, and then they're going to get destroyed, though. I mean, shout out. I still dig it. I don't care what anyone says. Because you got the Gonzaga Bulldogs. You got the Kansas Jayhawks. You got the Marquette Golden Eagles. The Purdue Boilermakers. Chaminade might be able to give Syracuse a game. The Syracuse Orangemen. Tennessee Volunteers. And the UCLA Bruins. And then Chaminade.
You got 6 top 10/15 teams. And then I'm looking forward to Chaminade and Syracuse in the 7th place game. Because Chaminade might be able to beat the Cuse. You know, they might be a middle of the tier ACC team, the Chaminade guys.
Hey, who was it that Chaminade upset one time in this thing? Man. Was it Georgia Tech?
I got to Google that because it was like a decade ago. I'll never forget that. Because
yes.
They usually just get killed and they won one randomly.
Who was it that they beat? They got someone in one of these tournaments. And they won.
Virginia.
We need Patty C on this episode. Is that fact? Was it the Wahoos?
Yeah, and it was with Ralph Sampson.
Oh, no. They won more recently than that. That's even crazier, though.
Yeah, UVA was number 1 in the country in '82, and they lost to Chaminade.
That's insane. Absolutely insane. No, I want to say they beat Texas in 2012.
Did they really beat Texas?
2012. 86-73. Dude, they beat Cal in 2017. They beat Texas in 2012. They beat Oklahoma in 2010 and Princeton in 2007 and Villanova in 2003. Woo!
They might be able to get Syracuse this year.
Dude, and I don't know if you know the politics behind this. My brother had sent me this article about them not ESPN basically at one point was saying no, they're not allowed in. And it's like, man, this invitational goes back long before ESPN, right?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of politics involved with this shit. But I'm glad to see Chaminade back in there. I can't wait to see them knock off the Orangemen and Adrian Autry. Let's go.
I think Charleston should play in the Charleston Classic every year. Like them beating Virginia Tech last year was fantastic.
Yeah, and I think it's good for ticket sales too. Even though it gives them a huge advantage.
Yeah.
Then go out and get bigger programs. Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. No, I like going back to the Charleston one. I like the teams like the North Texases and I forget who else was in that other one, the mid-major. But having
in Charleston it was North Texas and Dayton. But
Dayton
in Myrtle Beach was like
everybody.
Charleston, Coastal Carolina, Furman, Liberty, St. Louis, Wichita, Vermont, Wyoming.
It gives these mid-majors an opportunity to get a marquee victory that they could never get on the schedule other than having to play a bye game that could go a long way in March.
Yeah. I completely agree. Okay, but man, Maui's loaded this year. Better than last year even.
That's the best one I've ever seen.
Yeah. Before I get to the next segment here, talking about this active portal looking like the 405 freeway on a Friday, I want to tell you that the college basketball experience is brought to you by our driver giveaway. No, we're not giving you some random fucking driver. Some Uber drivers just trying to, Dude, I had an Uber driver not that long ago to the Burbank airport who I got in the car and we start going, and it's Los Angeles. I live in the beach, so it was like super hot. He's got all the windows down. He's got all the fucking windows down, and I'm like sweating. I'm like pulling a Patrick Ewing in this fucking Uber driver, or in this Uber, and I'm like, dude, come on, man, can we turn on the air conditioning? He's like, sorry, it's broken. And I had to go to the Burbank airport, which if you're not familiar with Los Angeles, that's like an hour and a half. All right, so like, or at least an hour. So I had to go from Santa Monica / Venice, like right on the cusp of that, to the airport with no air condition. My point is that's a bad driver. All right. Maybe you take the day off, fix your fucking air condition. All right. I understand you got ends to meet, but, and I still didn't give you a 1 star, by the way. I should have given you a fucking 1 star. I still gave him fucking 5 stars because I was a nice person that day, but God damn it. That was a bad driver. Look, we're not trying to give you a bad driver. We're giving you a fantastic driver, a tailor-made driver. Yes, because we're brought to you by the Golf Gambling Podcast and their tailor-made driver contest. The contest is completely free to enter, and you have a chance to win an awesome tailor-made driver. The drawing will take place on Sunday, April 8th, so get in. Look, it's free to enter, too, so make sure you get in. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/driver. All right, we're back talking college hoops. See the chat. Shout out to the chat showing up in the offseason. We know the real ones. We know the snorkelers and the scuba divers. All right.
These are the scuba divers, baby.
Yeah. Let's go. So I jotted down a lot of names. A lot of names here. I actually made a list of 35. I guarantee you I'm missing some because it's going through the database of who's in the portal right now. I need a whiskey. You know what I mean? Like I was like, okay, I know this name, this, and I'm like, you know what? I stopped. I got to be honest. I kind of half-assed it. It's so fucking large. It's so large.
I'm sure 2 new guys just hit the portal between the 32 minutes we started.
No, honestly, hold on. I'll tell you one that happened once I didn't write them down because I just saw right before we went live that Devin Cambridge for Arizona State, who just said 2 weeks ago he's coming back to Arizona State, is now in the portal. I mean,
you should go to UConn.
Yeah,
play for the other Hurley.
I guess you only made the field of 68. All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk just in general about I feel like we had a conversation as the college basketball experiencer and it was interesting to hear Noah Beanick's opinion of it because he's a lot younger than myself and even you. I know you're younger than myself, and I feel like it's like I'm like probably, if I had to guess, 10 years older than you, and then I feel like Noah's almost 10 years younger than you. I've always thought that the portal should be open for better opportunity, right? I've always thought that, even back in the 80s and 90s, I feel like they were fucking it up because I'm like, wait, if you don't have an opportunity here, you should be able to go elsewhere. Like if you're the 12th or 14th guy on Bob Knight's bench and he's blocking you from transferring, that's an asshole in my opinion, because as a coach, you're also a grown ass man, and you should realize that people, not everyone's going to have the same. Maybe someone wants a different opportunity, and you're trying to make someone's life better, right? And I have issues with some of my favorite coaches used to block players. Bobby Bowden. I mean, not that I'm a Bowden guy, but I'm saying like some of the most legendary coaches. I'm a Bill Snyder guy. Bill Snyder was a fucking asshole at doing that, right? In football. Yeah. So I'm split on it, but I also believe in hard work and adversity, right? And to me, if you're getting benched, do I need to? You can go. Here's a perfect opportunity. It would be like the fucking Michael Jordan thing. Michael Jordan got cut by a team, came back, and the story is like he focused all fucking year on that, right? So he battled that adversity. That doesn't necessarily like align to what I'm trying to say with the portal, but I do believe there's strength in battling adversity when you have, you get buried on that bench and you're saying, you know what, man, fuck, this sucks. You're bitching, but at the same time, you use that next year as almost like that move is almost the catalyst of you trying to become better, and you didn't have a spot to land elsewhere. So I'm kind of in the middle on this thing because I also believe that, having problems is necessary, in my opinion, for you to be successful, right? Like having, whatever the situation may be, the coach doesn't like you. Oh, he's going to trust this point guard. Coach likes you, but this guy's better than you, even though you think you're better than him. I believe that is good for you as a human being. I believe that. And so I'm kind of in the middle on this. What's your stance on, and I'm fascinated by hearing everyone's take on this, because I know, so we were talking behind the scenes, and I thought there should only be one. Like, I feel like the fact you can transfer, who just hit the portal today? Someone hit the portal, Jamaro Baker for Fresno State. He's already been at Kentucky, Arizona, and he's been at Fresno. So he is going to, he's pulling the Charlie Moore route. He's going to another school. And in my opinion, like, the NCAA does not owe you that. In my opinion, like, where do you draw the fucking line? Where do you draw the line? You know what I mean? Look, and I try to be player friendly, but God damn it, make a decision and stick to it. I actually believe in general in life, making a decision and sticking to it is an important lesson to learn. What do you make of this thing? And I'm curious, what's your take?
I think the main problem with the portal and how out of control it's got, because I don't care if you're for the players, against the players. I think we can all acknowledge it's a little bit out of control with how many guys are going in the transfer portal. I mean, you get 13 scholarships. It's going to be like an average of 5 players per program by the end, or 4.5 players per program by the end. That's almost half the rosters. I think the main thing is that everybody's got a guy and then another guy that's in their ear. You never know who's talking to these players, and everybody wants to get paid, including the guys that are advising these guys. And I think everybody just thinks, hey, man, this is a shitty situation, and I'm just going to go over here. But it's not always greener on the other side. And we've seen so many different circumstances with this. And there's something said for sticking it out and coming out the Max Duggan, like you said, with TCU. Like, you never know. You stick it out, opportunities present itself. I'm not saying, like, you don't transfer. I mean, some of the best – sometimes you need a change of scenery. We see coaches leave all the time, but you don't see coaches going to 4 schools in 5 years.
Yeah, well, that's what I was about to say. And I see Benedict and Noah's answer to defend Noah, who's not – I mean, he's with us, but not – he doesn't have a microphone in front of his right now. Noah's thing is, if a coach can go, a player should be able to go, which I would even be okay with that as a clause in the transfer, right? But to say that in spite, I also have an issue. Like, that's part of the adversity that I speak about that I think is good for you. Now, if you end up saying, well, I'm 12th on the bench, I think it's different than saying, well, I'm still the starting point guard, but I don't really know this guy's philosophies. I don't really like his philosophies. I think you should be choosing a fucking university by more than just your head coach. Obviously, I think that's a big factor.
Yeah.
And it should be. But I also think, like,
the culture.
Yes. Also, I mean, if you know the coach is, on the last leg of his contract, or, if you think he's better than the value, then I don't know. Maybe they should be telling you that. But I believe in the culture, the location. Maybe you don't want to go far from your fucking house. Maybe, I'm going to go to Bismarck, fucking North Dakota. You know what I mean? I don't know, if that's the smartest move for me if I have an offer for, to where somewhere closer to home. Wherever, but I don't know. I find this argument fascinating from a generational standpoint, because I did argue with Noah here, saying, because Noah was like, if the coach should leave, so should the player. And I go, no, but I think, like, some of your best players that I've seen flourished. Now, they struggled early on, but they flourished in their other coach's system. Now, had they not ever tried their other coach's system, they might not have made the best of. Now, I'm sure you could play that back and have a bunch of players that perhaps struggled and never went to the pros and say, well, this was the deciding factor. Maybe, and you might be right, but I don't know. I just think, to me, from my experiences, I'm in my 40s. Anything that I've ever done in life that I struggled were the best things that were ever for me.
100%. And I think it's turning into kind of not what head coaches do, because you don't see head coaches at 4 places in 5 years. What sometimes, though, you see this with assistant coaches where they'll jump, like, for example, one guy, he's gone from K-State to Baylor, then to Texas, and he's on his way somewhere else. And it's like, and some people are like, well, he just needs to have more experiences of working for different coaches. And I'm like, I understand that, but like, maybe it's just because I came up in the Hugs tree with Frank Martin. Like, it was more of a family rather than this is just a business. Like, it's cutthroat. We're not going to get along. It's just, hey, we're going to do A, B, C, and D, and we're just going to win as many games, rather than the big picture of, hey, you're going to become an 18-year-old and we're going to turn you into a man and prepare you for life. Maybe it's just different philosophies on everything, I guess. But I don't agree with playing 3-4 schools in 5 years. I think that's crazy, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, and I understand the financial side of it now. That's brand new to it in the past year and a half or 2 years with the NIL going legal.
Yeah.
I understand.
Which is illegal. Like, the way that it's turned into, it's basically the old cheating, but it's like, it was supposed to be, hey, you're going to make money off your name, image, likeness. Not, hey, if you come over here, we'll give you $250 no matter what. And hey, you just got to go sign a couple of hats and talk to Bobby Joe for 10 minutes. Cause that's not that's not NIL. That's, hey, you're a good player. We want to be good. Come over here.
And I try to be like, I try to think of myself as the player. I try to think of myself as the player. So it's not, I hope someone's not thinking that I'm insensitive to, the players, but I just feel like I think of myself as the player and I'm like, no, maybe there's something I can learn from, even though I don't like this coach, maybe there's something I can learn that can benefit me, but I don't know. I mean, where would you, my question to people out there like that would say, no, they should be able to transfer is where would you draw the line? Is there no line? You can just transfer every fucking semester?
I agree with transfer once in your first 4 years. And I do agree that if you graduate, you should be rewarded for that, because it's all about you, or at least it used to be all about, you're supposed to graduate. You're a student athlete. If you graduate, you should be able to go play your 5th year wherever you want and make as much money. I like what Noah said. It's turned into live golf where we're going to pay you up front, and it doesn't matter if you're great or you suck ass. You're still going to get as much money, because we've seen these other guys that, what was it? The quarterback, I forget where, made all that money. He didn't even play.
Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, Quinn Ewers at Texas.
At Ohio State. No,
at
originally when he was at
Ohio State.
Ohio
Went
State.
to Texas, yeah.
He took one snap that whole season and he downed the ball.
Yeah.
And he got $1 million. He took $1.5 million, I think it was. I'm talking out of my ass a little bit. And then he walked to Austin. And that booster or whoever the fuck put that together is like, I mean, but to be fair, I've read, I remember a story. I want to say it was LSU. LSU had a player. Can't remember if this was basketball or if this was football. This is back in the 90s. And who knows who, I'm only hearing it from one side of the story, the player side, but I tend to believe it. That he went on a trip to Oxford, Mississippi. Right? Who knows if he was there with his girlfriend or he was there on a recruiting thing. Probably was recruiting. Doesn't mean he signed. But LSU was paying his bills under the table, and they cut off his fucking electricity at his parents' house that night. And I thought, man, that's really fucked up. You know what I mean? It's really fucked up to do that, especially if you don't know his motives. Like, what if he was really going there just to chase ass? I have no idea. But there's also been like that they've blackmailed players, as saying, hey, when it was illegal, meaning like, hey, your ass is gonna play, or I'm gonna turn this over to the NCAA and you'll be suspended. So it goes both ways. But I don't know. But
let me ask you this. If you were filthy rich and, hey, ECU, you wanted to pay all these guys. If you got burned a couple times, you pay this guy let's say $100,000 or whatever, $1 million 2-3 times. And then it's like, man, this guy sucks. This is not worth $1 million. When is this going to come back a little bit and be like, I'm not forking over this fucking money anymore? This is like, I'm not getting my return on investment.
That's what, look, that's the Mike Leach thing. We had Mike Leach on the show a bunch of times. Rest in peace to Coach Leach. And he said, if you're going to do this, I should have the power to be able to cut you. Like, if I'm going to pay you,
I agree.
And if you're not playing well, if I cut you, then your ass is out, just like you're working at fucking, Dave and Buster's or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're not bartending well. You're fired. Right? When he brought that up to us, I was like, yeah, he's kind of right. You should, if we're arguing that an 18-year-old can go get a job anywhere else, which I think NIL is based off, like if we're arguing that aspect of like, if we're trying to compare it to a normal student of like a normal student can go have a job and work at a place, so they should be able to have, they should be able to get money too, which is fair. I think that's fair. But at the same time, they can also get fired. This is like guaranteed money. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see. I didn't want to harp on it too much, but
it's interesting times.
Yeah, interesting times. And I'm looking at a list of 35 players. Very interesting times. Look, and look, I like I said, I'm not totally against it. Like, I think certain players, maybe, Rick Pitino told the whole St. John's team minus Joel Soriano, get the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
All right. So obviously, I'm not like on Team Pitino there as far as like he did the same shit as Deion Sanders. Basically said, you guys are all you're not cutting it here. All right, get the fuck out. So I understand that side of it too. So I look at a guy named Posh Alexander on the list, and I go, man, I like Posh Alexander. I don't know what his personality's like. Was he a problem in the locker room? I have no fucking idea. But I like the way he plays basketball. I see him in the portal. And look, there's so many big names in the portal. Let's just talk about some of these. I don't understand all of them. The Posh Alexander, I understand. That's like, okay, yeah. And Con Burglar saying, I like the portal. Jeremiah Davenport is finally leaving from Cincy. He's 35 years old. But so like let's talk. So I just randomly and don't hold me to these 35 names. I don't know that they're the top 35 at all. I just kind of put this together. I kind of Mickey Moused it. Isn't that a term? At number 1, I put Hunter Dickinson because I'm still confused on this one. And I know Noah Beanick is a Michigan fan, and he said he wanted to play with better point guard and he wanted to make the NCAA tournament. I'm like, well, I mean, when you're the best player on the team, isn't that on you?
Well, and he made the tournament his first 2 out of 3 years, and I don't know, they were inconsistent this year, but I mean, I think it's kind of weak if that's his reason, personally.
Well, if he wants to get paid, I understand. Like
it's like the Kevin Durant, like, I want to win it all. I'm gonna go to the Warriors.
Yeah.
What?
Well, that's the thing. Is it's like you have, and shout out to Fallon Iverson. This is Maryland hired his old high school coach. I think the Terps are in the running.
Mike Jones.
See that one's interesting to me because I think that'd be great for Maryland to get, but do I think that makes him a title contender? No, I don't. It's within the Big Ten too, so he would play at Michigan. That's a little weird, but
he'd keep playing at Wisconsin.
I just don't understand. Like, okay, if he goes to, I know that I think Kansas or Kentucky were on his list. Kansas, I get because it's like they won a national championship 2 years. Kentucky, what, you want a first round exit again? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, it's got to be financial. It's got to be 100% financial, right?
He actually makes a lot of sense at Kansas, just with the history of all those good bigs Bill Self has had. None of them are really that athletic, kind of like Dickinson. But what's Sheway going to do? Is Oscar coming back, or is he going to go play with Oscar? I mean, it's kind of crowded there at Kentucky too.
Yeah, and I know Trevor's saying, did you hear we got Noah Reynolds? Yes, Wyoming's Noah Reynolds is poor Wyoming. Poor Wyoming. They can't
everybody
keep
transfers
football
there.
or basketball.
Yeah,
Football or basketball. They just dip out. Rob Donaldson says, to be fair, Michigan's offense made zero sense. Juwan Howard was a one-run wonder. Yeah, but still, you're getting coached by Juwan Howard. He played in the NBA for like 30 fucking years, I felt like. I mean, to me, like, that's on Hunter Dickinson more as much as it is Howard. They had Jet Howard. They had other guys. They had the Llewellyn. I know he got injured, but I'm saying the year prior, they had the kid that transferred in from Coastal Carolina. They had guys. Who am I forgetting here? There was another couple guys that went to the pros. I don't know. I think it's weak. I think that's some 2023 weak shit. Unless it's like Kentucky's offering me 5 times more money, or Kansas is offering me, then I'm like, okay, I get it. All right, then just be honest about it. But if you're gonna go to Maryland just because they hired your high school coach, and you're gonna go in conference, I think that's some bullshit, if I may call that out.
It would be interesting if he goes there, though. If he's got to go back to Michigan, and he said, he's made rivals with everybody in that league. Nobody likes him.
Well, it's just crazy. It's like, I don't know. But anyway, Hunter Dickinson, where do you think he ends up? Do you think, like, if I had to say gun to your head right now, where do you think he ends up?
See, everybody has said Maryland, but I'm going to say Kansas. I think they got the most money because I think Oscar will come back to Kentucky ultimately. I'll say Kansas.
All right, so number 2 on my list, I have Max Asmus. And I think I'm fascinated to see where he lands. I'm absolutely fascinated to see where he lands. I've heard, and hold on, let me load up what I heard were the possibilities. And I always question. It's like some guy who tweets. Sometimes they tweet out like, these are the teams and I'm like, are you sure? By the way, Kentucky was on that list, if memory serves me correct as well. Is there any chance you think Max Asmus is a Wildcat when we start play in November next season?
Noah Beanick says he's receiving interest from Chaminade. No, I don't think Max is going to go to Kentucky. They have all that doesn't really fit what Calipari does. He usually has bigger guards too.
Yeah. I see Wichita State on there. I see North Carolina. I see Baylor. Kansas State.
He should go to Wichita, man.
Yeah. I mean, what about, I think Wichita, I mean, shout out to him too, because he did stay the course with Paul Mills. But he is a Dallas native. What is that? TCU,
SMU. I like K-State just with what Tang did with Marquise Noel. I saw that Marquise Noel was tweeting at him and trying to recruit him. I mean, proof's in the pudding there. And with all those good guards that Tang has had, maybe Baylor's got open guards as well. I'm trying to think who else is in the Dallas area. SMU. I mean, you're not going to go there.
North Texas is like 30 minutes away, but there's no way he's going there, right? If you're going to go, you might as well fucking stay at Oral Roberts if you're going to North Texas.
No.
I mean, that name is huge. And we have, and by the way, hold on, I should hit on this too, because we talked Wisconsin landing Noah Reynolds, but what about some of the other gets? Oh, did I ditch this page? I think I fucked this up. I think I looked up the Maui Invitational where I had this page, but anyway, Jameer Nelson Jr. He went from Delaware to TCU.
Yep.
Jaquan Walton, who was a stud at Wichita State this year, went to Bama. Kerr Krishna, I never know how to pronounce this fucking name. Yeah, he's at West Virginia. That was shocking to me. I want your take on that, because I don't think of him as like a lights out defender. Like, I did not. Me and NC Nick were talking about this on a phone call. I didn't see this guy as a Hugs guy. And then he lands at West Virginia. I mean, I guess you got to be excited because he's a good basketball player, but I don't know. It kind of just was shocking to me.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go to Xavier, to be honest, because Sean Miller started as his coach at Arizona. But I think his quote in terms of I need a new start, I need to start playing some defense. And when I saw Hugs pull up with a pickup truck, I'm like, I need to play for this guy. He's going to hold me accountable. And I think that the narrative was same about Stevenson last year too, that he didn't play any defense, and Eric wasn't the best defender this year. But I think with these older guys, they become better help defenders just because they've been in college basketball so long. They've seen so many reps and they learn angles more. So I think he just needs a coach that'll hold him accountable. Tommy Lloyd wasn't coaching any defense out there too, in fairness to Kerr.
Yeah. Well, it's also that I feel like that happens when you recruit your whole roster from Europe.
Anyway, it is an interesting fit, though.
Yeah. Jamison Battle. I know the chat was talking about it before. The Gophers, what is it, guard forward? He committed to Ohio State.
That was our guy.
It's another one in conference, though.
I know.
Have some fucking decency. All right.
Hey, all those times where everybody kept giving a shit that Minnesota was covered, he was the one hitting those big threes, the Rutgers game winner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't like in conference. We went through this last year with Bridges going from West Virginia to Baylor, McCullough going from Texas Tech to Kansas. I'm not a big in conference transfer guy.
I'm not either. We know. So Sky Clark, also the Illinois guard that left the team like 10 games in, went to Louisville. That's a huge get for Louisville. John Tonje. How do you pronounce it? Tonje. I always forget. He's good, though. Colorado State guard. He went to Missouri with Dennis Gates. J.J. Starling, the guard for Notre Dame, I think it's a pretty good get. Adrian Autry did land him at Syracuse. And then Paxson Wojcik, the guard from the Brown Bears, the Cocaine Bears, went to UNC. Shocking a little bit that UNC is looking for an Ivy League guard, but what'd you make any of those?
Interesting. With Wojcik going from the Ivy League to Carolina. He's not going to replace Caleb Love. I think that they're going to swing higher, but interesting fit. It's Carolina. Carolina is going to be an interesting team coming in. Maybe lower expectations are better for them.
Yeah, I agree with Rob Donaldson here. In-conference transfer should still carry the first-year ineligible rule. I agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I'm all the way on board on that. You'll get my vote tonight. Let's go. All right. Well, look, I wanted to just rattle off some names here. Obviously, Nebhard. Where do you think Nebhard lands? Arizona.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks LJ Cryer. I've heard speculation. K-State. I've heard speculation. Kansas. I think I sent you. Did I send you that?
Yeah. I'll say K-State just because of Tang.
And that's what you're hoping for. Ace Ball.
I want him to go to K-State over Kansas. You're right.
Yeah, I understand what you're doing there. I can read. This is my first rodeo. But Ace Baldwin is a one that is interesting to me because we talked, I think, Georgetown in the chat or Penn State because Rhodes there, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of think Ace Baldwin. And he could end up. Did I see Kentucky was looking at him? St. John's was looking at him too. I think. I mean, I guess everyone. That's the problem with the fucking internet is you can read a story that says, Hawaii's looking at him. You know what I mean? Like every school is rumored to these people, but Ace Baldwin is one that I think. Why would you go to Penn State? It's a rebuild.
I like St. John's for him. Yeah. I like that one because Pitino put the ball in his hands right away. He kind of fits that up and down style that Pitino wants to play coming from the Havoc. I like that fit.
I do like that fit too, man. I like that. That would be very exciting. Then we have Posh Alexander. I was shocked, and I'm curious your take on this. I was fucking shocked that Posh Alexander, I thought he would be a Pitino guy.
He must be an asshole.
That's the only. But Pitino's had assholes before. But I mean, I was shocked that they didn't invite. Like I thought, like honestly, when I thought Pitino took over, I was like, I actually thought he would be the first guy he would try to retain. Soriano would probably be second to me, but I thought Posh Alexander. He's such a great defender. I thought like, hey, this is a guy that would fit right into Pitino ball. No. Shocked? Were you shocked by that?
No, just because sometimes these coaches, especially with the pedigree of the Pitino, they just want to make a statement that, hey, this is my program and this is what we're going to do from here on forward. So I'm the man in the room and I'm in charge. So Posh Alexander, though, it's going to be interesting to see where he goes. He's like an Arizona State. They just lost a guard. Arizona State likes to bring in these talented transfers.
I thought Huggins. I thought Hugs would be one that would jump on Posh Alexander for style of play at least. I mean, honestly, I kind of think San Diego State would jump at trying to get Posh Alexander there too.
Where's he from? That's a big thing with these kids, where they leave home for a couple of years and maybe they want to finish their collegiate career
from
closer
Brooklyn.
to home.
He's from Brooklyn. Look, he's Defensive Player of the Year in the Big East 2021, Freshman Player of the Year, and you're telling this guy to walk. Ed Cooley, Georgetown. Ed Cooley,
like
Georgetown.
Or maybe he goes to Syracuse, goes upstate. They're playing man-to-man now.
Don't go to Syracuse.
That's what Boeheim said. He goes, they're changing some things up. They're playing man. I go, yeah, welcome to 2023, Jim. He's so gone. He's like, the ACC, we were just as good as everybody this year. I'm like, oh, my God. Get out of here. Uncle Bernie.
Oh, man, that's tough. Okay, continuing on our list here, or my list here, that just spitballing here. Caleb Mills, he was once the AAC Player of the Year at Houston. He transferred to Florida State, and I still was confused by that move. At the time, he was previously the Player of the Year. He's in the portal, and Houston's Tremont Mark is in the portal. I mean, these are huge gets, in my opinion. Like, if the right team gets, I think Caleb Mills could be. I know no one watched Florida State basketball over the past 2 years. I think he's a very good player, though. And on the right team, I think he could be a very good player. Same with Tremont Mark. I mean, I saw Tremont Mark's list. Arkansas was on that list. Obviously, they lost Ricky Council Jr. today or yesterday. Caleb Mills, I've seen that to Memphis too, Rob, in the chat saying that.
Penny.
I mean, whoever's going to get these guys is pretty big fucking gets. This portal is better than it's been ever as far as talent. Not as many.
Is this the time of year where we see Arkansas literally tagged on every single transfer? Remember that last year?
Yes.
It's like Arkansas has contact. I'm like, how many damn scholarships do they have?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So Caleb Mills, Tremont Mark, Avery Anderson I put there. I'm curious if he stays in the Big 12 or the SEC comes calling. Harrison Ingram was a big name to hit the portal out of Palo Alto. In Stanford. He should have left a long time ago. Which makes me think, why are you bringing back Haas?
Yeah. No, that was a big loss for Stanford because Stanford actually played well down the stretch, but I don't know. I thought they should have moved on from Haas. I mean, I never root against a coach getting fired. I came from the coaching industry, but I thought Mark Madsen would have been perfect there. That he played there.
Yeah. Well, that's why, they're Stanford.
Yeah.
So, Severe Wheeler. This is an interesting one to me. And this made me question. This made me question Calipari a little bit because I loved his game at Georgia. Now, who can get him? I'm just a bit perplexed that Kentucky fumbled this because I like his game. I don't know. He's in the port. TJ. What's my guy's name from? How do I pronounce? Is it? Let me make sure I got this right. From is it Bamba? Bamba, I believe.
Oh, Bamba. Yeah, he's good too.
He is good.
Yeah.
And I who did I see that he was rumored to today? I saw someone. Was it somewhere? Might have been Kansas.
The problem, I did see that. The problem is everybody's rumored everywhere until I start taking it serious when you go on the actual campus, because if you're going on campus as a 4th and 5th year guy, you're not just going there as like a high school kid. Hey, I want to get the free gear, see facilities for the first time. It's like, I'm in business. Here's what's the plan? How do I fit in? Let's get this done.
Yeah. Yeah. You got Ellis from Louisville. He was good. Their best player this year, but
their only player.
I don't know if that means anything.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I mean, I think Brandon Murray from LSU/Georgetown is an interesting one to see where he lands. Graham Ike, I know he's rumored to go to Colorado. The Wyoming big who missed the whole season. If you watch Wyoming 2 years ago, he was a beast. Keegan Records from Colgate. He's played more tournament games than everyone on this fucking list. But I mean, come on, he's gonna land somewhere like Iowa, right?
Yeah,
who wants to slow white guy with moves?
Yeah, I would say like as much as I shit on Pitt, their point guard Nelly Cummings came from Colgate as well, and that was part of the big reasons why Jeff Capel was able to turn that thing around this year and get to the dance. So there's something said for these guys that come from winning programs at the lower level and to translate to the high major level.
Yeah. Where do you think Hughley Jr. goes? Don't fucking say West Virginia.
West Virginia. If you want my honest opinion in terms of fit, I think he's going to go because West Virginia recruited him out of high school. That's the other thing. It's like a lot of it too recruited you out of high school. Who do you have your relationships with? So
disgusting.
Yeah. He wants to win a brawl before he graduates. You know, he's got to come over the good side.
Joe Girard. I'm intrigued to see where Girard.
How old is he?
He's 35. You know, he's been playing since Craig Elo was still in the NBA. Caleb Love, I think, is a big one. I've heard Dennis Gates or Travis Ford rumored to that. I also heard Penny Hardaway rumored to that. That'll be interesting. Denver Jones, I know the Florida International guard. I think Alabama and Auburn are in the running for him. Tyler Perry, are we just assuming Texas Tech? Although I heard the Longhorns were very interested in him.
Oh, this is great. I would love to see him in Lubbock because I feel like his defensive style of play fits Lubbock, and I think McCaslin's the perfect fit there too. We'll go into the coaching carousel episodes, but yeah, McCaslin's a great fit with his West Texas roots.
DeMar Langford from BC hit the portal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, like Temple's top 3 leading scorers, Damian Dunn, Khalif Battle, and Jameel Reynolds. All to me, I think fascinating on where they land. Jalen Cook, I know we were talking about him in the chat from Tulane. That's an interesting angle to me. Aaron Estrada, Nick Timberlake from Towson, who was previously at Miami. I mean, this portal is fucking insane. Primo Spears, Jaden Bradley.
Could you see Pitino going after Estrada?
I could.
He's got some dog in him.
I could. I
mean, we say St. John's for everybody because they have what, like 2-3 players on their current roster.
Yeah, they have one player on their roster.
Yeah.
No, but I do think they're going to grab. I would assume that Walter Clayton Jr. from Iona is going to join Rick Pitino, but we'll see. I don't know. We were mentioning all these names, and this episode's kind of an empty episode because we don't know where they're going. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on the portal. Get it out there that there's over 2,000 players in this fucking thing. What are you doing?
I got one name. This one's kind of like your deep college basketball fan, if you know this name. Jamarian Sharp from Western Kentucky. 7'4", 7'5". He led the country in shot blocks. Where does he go? I mean, he's huge.
Some of those super small teams need to fucking think about that.
Yeah.
Some of those super small teams that we see in the tournament every year. Miami. Hey, maybe off this guy the scholarship. You got that NIL money. Get over there. I don't know. I'm fascinated by all this, but folks, this is our episode. We're kind of just spitballing here on portal gets. Talk about the portal. Bryce Johnson from Chicago State is a baller. He should stay at Chicago State because that's our team. And Rob Donald is also mentioning Jordan Wilmore from Northwestern State. We know Northwestern State was a good team. So Eddie Lampkin, yeah, he landed at Colorado. That was a big get for the Buffs. I mean, if they get EK and Lampkin, I think the Buffs are. I mean, even if they don't get EK, I think they have a really good starting 5.
Agreed. Yep.
And they're in Maui the year after that. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. We're going to be here talking about it all on the college basketball experience. We're going to get to a coaching episode, I think, next week about the new coaches. And obviously, we'll hit with portal news because I'm sure there will be a shit ton of it. So, folks, subscribe to the college basketball experience and also subscribe to the college football experience. I just dropped 3 episodes in the past 24 hours over there. Go listen to that. And the college baseball experience is coming up next. Me and Noah Beanick got to be in full swing talking about how ECU just took a shit on NC State because they are the cowards we always know them to be. But also check out Moneyline Mac's work, NFL Gambling Podcast, The Ryan and Rush Show, and we got news coming. It's coming down the pipeline here. Give it a little bit of time. And also check out the XFL Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast, the USFL Gambling Podcast. Noah Beanick's doing work with the MLB Gambling Podcast. Obviously, right now, shout out to our friends, the Golf Gambling Podcast. The Masters are going on right now. I'm not a golf guy, but I know the whole world is. So hop on in, check out that show. They do a great job. And, yeah, all right. Get the SGPN app in the App Store, Google Play Store, and come talk about whether it's Jalen Cook to Memphis potentially or whatever. Come talk it in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. We have a great college hoop section. We really have every fucking sport. So hop on over there. Let's talk. A lot of fun. All right. There we go. Until next week, this is the college basketball experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we out of here.
Run and shoot.